This is why I created kind of the trigger-proof method, to make them feel safe so that maybe I will feel safe. I'm feeling, and to validate that experience. This is like radical.
How can someone tell the difference between healthy compromise and codependent accommodation?
I think the first step, like, you can't tell in the beginning. In the beginning, you don't know, because if all you've ever done was codependent, resignation, what was the language you used? What was it? Codependent what?
I said healthy compromise
Versus codependent.
Accommodation, accommodating what is happening.
How do you tell the difference is most of the time it's codependent accommodation. This is why I created kind of the trigger-proof method, is that the way that you break that cycle is by first choosing to accommodate yourself, which is a tough one if all you've known is accommodating others, to then connect with the child inside of you and to face and feel those younger parts and connect with them and bond with them and understand them first. And then when you've done that, then you look and see, okay, what are they dealing with? Most people with codependency skip that first part and they empathize, but the empathy goes to the other person first. That's called what I call unconscious empathy. That's fawning. That is leaving my body and accommodating the other person to make them feel safe so that maybe I will feel safe. That skips an important step. And the important step is, before I look at what's going on with them, I do the uncomfortable, counterintuitive practice of first acknowledging and validating my own experience without having to prove it to anybody. And once I've done that, I've empathized with me, then I can go and see what's going on with them. Now I have an understanding of both parts and I'm not abandoning myself. Now I can go, all right, so here's what I want and here's what you want. Let's create a win.
What it means is not just emotional, it has to be physical as well.
It starts with emotional, yes. It starts with emotional validation of what your experience is. So if you, most of the time, what we see is people who have parents that don't know how to validate the reality of the child. They say you shouldn't feel that way. They don't even give the child permission to feel or think what they want. They say, no, you should think this and that, right? So the child hasn't been raised to have their own experience of reality validated. So the first step is to parent yourself and really practice validating your own experience. And then once you've done that, now emotionally, maybe even physically. So this is parenting yourself, right? So a good parent doesn't let the child get put in an environment that's threatening or not safe physically and emotionally. So once I've done that, then I can decide, is my relationship with Grace, for example, a place where I can receive emotional safety? Well, I'm going to advocate for myself. Hey, Grace, this is the experience that I've been having. Are you open to feedback? And then you say yes, and then I share with you my experience. And then by your reaction to me, whether you invalidate me, whether you dismiss me, you get aggressive, you blame, then I can assess, oh, this is not an emotionally safe place that I can be in this relationship. So I'm just going to flow my energy away from Grace because she's not providing that. See, that's Nima parenting himself. A good parent doesn't put the child in a place where they're not going to be safe. So you literally have to re-parent yourself in the situation.
Thank you. And in reparenting yourself, it means you need to have self-love, become more self-aware as well.
Yeah, it's all self-awareness. It's a journey of self-awareness, understanding like my pain. It's about understanding where my pain comes from and being a witness to my own pain. But it's a very counterintuitive thing, right? We don't intuitively know how to love ourselves if our parents didn't do it. If our parents didn't know how to love themselves, then loving ourselves is weird, right? But there's so many things. First and foremost is containment, is emotionally, can I give myself the space and the experience where I give myself the permission to feel what I'm feeling? This is the fundamental fundamental permission and authority that many of us don't know how to give. We can do years of therapy, but still not get this one critical component is self-authority and permission to feel what we're feeling. This is a great place to begin. I give myself the permission and authority to feel whatever it is I'm feeling and to validate that experience. This is like radical. This is revolutionary for most people that I work with. They're like, I always thought everything I felt was wrong. So this is the first part of self-parenting. And then the next, obviously validating your own emotional state, following your impulse, listening to the voice of your body and giving yourself permission to have desires, preferences, values. These are all part of self-parenting. And then it goes on to, hey, are you getting to sleep? Are you going to sleep at an early time? Are you drinking a lot of water? Are you getting play? And when you think about it, I have a 5-year-old. What do I want to do? I want to give him really great food. I want to make sure that he gets enough sleep. I want to make sure that he is playing and he's involved in activities that light him up. We got him in skiing. We have him in Taekwondo. That's part of parenting is, do you enjoy skiing? Yes. Okay, then you're going to go skiing. This is me parenting him because I'm allowing him to play and to express his desires and his preferences. Parenting isn't just about emotional containment. It's about saying, hey, Grace, you like to dance? Then you're going to take yourself dancing. You're going to give yourself the permission to go and do whatever it is that you love to do. That's part of parenting too. Giving yourself rest, napping when you need, playing when you need, right? This is all part of parenting. So it's self-awareness and it's shifting reality by changing your relationship with yourself.
Thank you. That actually, now that you've highlighted that, I remember one of my clients saying that, she experienced ACE when she was growing up, she was told what to do. And if she didn't conform, she was smacked.
Yeah.
And now she's an adult. She lives alone. She has a pet and she feels she's taken after her parents in that when her cat misbehaves or when her pet misbehaves, she doesn't smack the cat, definitely is an animal, but she gets angry and she feels frustrated that she can't communicate as a human being to a human being. She can't communicate to a cat. So she feels that she's beginning to act or sound like her parents.
And this is what happens whenever we are incomplete with our parents and we haven't done the work to really understand them and we still feel victimized by what they've done. Whatever we resent and we bury, we then become. People say, I swore I never wanted to be like my parents, and then I became exactly like them because you haven't done the healing work yet on your parents. So this is why healing from the mother wound and the father wound and breaking free and individuating from mom and dad and becoming your own authentic self outside of their impact and influence is one of the most powerful things that we can do so that we break the cycle, whether you're doing it with a cat or especially if you have children.
Okay, thank you. Be safe and be positive. And don't forget to check out our social media handles. Thank you. Bye for now.